Shalom, brothers and sisters. Grace, mercy, and peace be unto you from Yahuwah the Father and Yahusha our Mashiach, his voice. Hear, O Yahshua, Yahuwah our mighty one is one Yahuwah. This is Brother David coming to you again to bring you the daughters of Sarah. This is part 2, the Mammy. You can take out the A and you can put an O there and it becomes the Mammy. What is this all about? The white man. Let's just call him Mr. White. The children of the devil. He came together with a strategy against this team. What team is that? The black man and his woman. He knew he had to break them up, destroy them, or else they would rise up and be above him. Who did he use to destroy the black family? The Mammy. The Mommy. This strategy has persisted from the very beginning. It has not changed because it works every time. How do you get the woman to come on your side? Very easy. Offer her power. Offer her authority. And she'll turn. It's appealing to her. Look at Eve. How did Satan beguile her? What did he offer her? He told her that if you eat of this tree of the knowledge of good and evil, you will be like the mighty one. If she's like the mighty one, that means she's above her husband, doesn't it? That was so appealing to her that she ate of the tree. When Adam found out what she did, he didn't want to lose his woman. He gave himself, gave his life for her. Adam was not deceived, but Eve was deceived and in the transgression. Adam knew through childbirth that she would be saved, and he went out to save his woman at a great cost. Because in Adam's loins were the next generation and the whole generations that come forth after him would be cursed. How did Satan achieve this? Through the woman. Let's see Job. Yahuwah gave Satan free reins to destroy Job and his family. Couldn't kill him, though. He wanted Job, Satan that is, to curse the mighty one. Job did not do it, even though he lost his children. He lost his wealth. He didn't lose his wife, though. What happened next? Satan pulled out his top gun again. He brought the wife to Job, and what did she say? Why don't you just curse the mighty one and die? What was Job's reply? You sound like a foolish woman. Fast forward to the Americas. The strategy continues. These are the children of Satan. He has taught them his strategy. They know they have to break up the family. In order to do that, you have to cut off the head. Who did he use to cut off the head of the black man and the black family? The woman. How did he do that, Brother David? The same way that Eve was beguiled. He offered her power and authority. And she took it. She has no problem calling Mr. White master. But when it comes to that husband of hers, he is worthless. He is beneath her because now she has all of the authority. Let's fast forward to modern times today. The woman is in the workforce. She goes to work every day. She sees Mr. White. She says, "Good morning, Mr. White." Do you know what she just said? We're talking about today. "Good morning, master." As she goes through her daily routine, Mr. White comes and says, "Do this, do that." She says, "Yes, sir." "No, sir." You know what sir means? Sire. Master. She has no problem giving him his due because he's giving her a paycheck and he's giving her her authority. Then she comes home and she sees this Negro on the couch. She's more educated than him. She's bringing home the bacon. He can't find a job. He may have some felony conviction. He's out there working little piece jobs just to make a buck. He is in total depression. Instead of her elevating her man, what does she do? She proceeds to destroy him with her mouth. "You are not no real man." Then she kicks him out and she says things like this: "I don't need a man. Only to come in and satisfy my needs." You see how evil this strategy is? And yet our women embrace Satan's ways. They hate Yahuwah's ways. Let's begin. Wikipedia. The word is Mammy, Big Mama. The Mammy was usually portrayed as an older woman, overweight and dark-skinned. She was an idolized figure of a caregiver, amiable, loyal, maternal, non-threatening, obedient, and submissive. Hey, brothers and sisters, there's that evil word, submissive. Who was she submissive to? The Mammy figure demonstrated deference to white authority, Mr. White. On occasion, the Mammy was also depicted as a sassy woman. You know, she had that mouth. She was devoted to her. Look who she devoted to. Her owners, her employers, and her primary goal in life was to care for their needs. Okay, who's her owner? Mr. White. Who's the employer of the young ladies today? Mr. White. Who is she devoted to? Did it say her husband? No. Mr. White. What is her goal in life? To care for their needs. Do you see the strategy? This came from slavery, brothers and sisters. They've created the perfect servant. The black woman was created to serve the man. She is the best at it. But the Europeans turned it around, and she's serving them. What is happening in the process? They are prosperous. They are constantly moving up because their slave is perfect in everything she does. She's better than any white woman. 5, maybe 10 times better. That's why when you see a black woman in the workforce, she takes control. Some portrayals had the Mammy have a family of her own, but her caregiving duties would always come first, leading to the Mammy being portrayed as a neglectful parent or grandparent. And while the Mammy was devoted to her white family, She often treated her own family poorly. Moreover, she had no black friends. This is happening today, isn't it? Let's take away the Mammy label and put in the black woman is devoted to her Mr. White's business. She's not home for the family. They barely see her because she's in the workplace. She may be working 10, 12 hours plus a commute. She doesn't have time to raise these kids. She doesn't have time to help them with their homework. She doesn't have time to run a conversation with them. But she has time for Mr. White because Mr. White has either given her her authority or a paycheck. Melissa Harris Perry. She used to be on MSNBC. The young lady, she had long braids. Describes the relationship between the Mammy and other African Americans in Sister Citizen. Shame, Stereotypes, and Black Women in America, 2011. By summarizing that Mammy was not a protector or defender of black children or communities. That was not her purpose. Her purpose was to take care of Mr. White. She represented a maternal ideal, but not in caring for her own children. Her love, doting, advice, correction, and supervision were reserved exclusively for white women and children. She's the perfect servant. Not for the black man, though. For Mr. White and his family. Her children are lacking. She spends more time taking care of Mr. White and his family than she does at home. And this is true today also, because the women are in the workforce. They're the primary caregiver. They're a single parent. They're out there working. They're going to school. They have no time for these children. This stereotype contrasts with the Jezebel stereotype, which depicted younger African American women as conniving and promiscuous. Well, that stereotype has come true today, hasn't it? The younger African American women are conniving. They are promiscuous. They have no morals. Everything is about the hookup. The Mammy was occasionally depicted as a religious woman who spread the white man's religion to her children. Wasn't a black man. Who put the white image of Jesus in the household? You know, the blonde guy with the blue eyes? Who put those crosses in the house? Who made you go to church? Religious women. Religion? What religion is that? Mr. White's religion. Christianity. She took it. She embraced it. She spread it to her children. Do you see how we've been destroyed? More often than not, the Mammy was an asexual figure, devoid of any personal desires that might tempt her to sin. This helped the Mammy serve as both a confidant and a moral guide to her young charges, capable of keeping them in line. Who is she keeping in line? It's not her own children. She's not present. She has no time for them. She's too busy taking care of Mr. White and his children. So who's she keeping in line? Mr. White's children. Kimberly Wallace Sanders includes other characteristics of the Mammy in Mammy, A Century of Race, Gender, Southern Memory, 2008. A large dark body, a round smiling face, a deeply sonorous and effortlessly soothing voice, a raucous laugh. Her personal attributes include infinite patience not for her children, not for her husband, not for her man, for Mr. White and his children, self-deprecating wit, an implicit understanding and acceptance, listen to this, of her own inferiority, inferior to the white man, superior to the black man or her husband, and her devotion to the whites. Devotion to Mr. White and his family. Rebellion to her husband and her own family. The Mammy was also large-breasted, desexualized, and potentially hostile towards men. What men could that be? Let's think about this. She's devoted to Mr. White. She knows she's inferior to him. She embraces that. She calls him master. She takes his religion and applies it to herself. So what man is this that she's hostile towards? The black man. Can you see how this woman was created? Many of these characteristics were denied to African American female slaves, but were generally attributed to the Mammy. So all of the women that came after her, they wanted the same power that Mammy had. Did they get it? Yes, they did. Jeremiah, chapter 31, verses 21 to 23. Now we've seen who's given the black woman in America her authority. Let's see who gave the person, Mr. White, his authority over us. Verse 21. Set thee up waymarks, make thee high heaps, set thine heart towards the highway, even the way which thou wentest, turn again, O virgin of Yasharal, turn again to these thy cities. Ladies, turn your mind towards the promised land. Verse 22. How long wilt thou go about, O backsliding daughter? He's talking to you ladies. For Yahuwah have created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man. Who created this phenomenon? Yahuwah. Who sent us into captivity? Yahuwah. Who gave the other humans dominion over us? Yahuwah. Why did he do that? Because the men were rebellious against him. They breached the contract. The contract stated, if you breach this contract, you will go into captivity, fall by the sword, and these women shall have dominion over you. Ladies, for you to have dominion over the man is a curse. If you think that this is a good thing for you to be the one who carries out the curse, it is not. He calls you a backsliding daughter. He told you to turn again to the old ways, which is the good way, and you will find rest for your souls. Mr. White was authorized by Yahuwah to give you your dominion and your power, which is a curse. It is destructive to our people. Verse 23. Thus saith Yahuwah of hosts, the mighty one of Yasharal. As yet they shall use this speech in the land of Judah and in the cities thereof. We haven't used it yet. We haven't been gathered yet. This is an end time prophecy. What speech is that? When I shall bring again their captivity. Oh, so this is when we're gathered. Again, a second time. This is what we missed out in the church. You know that? They told us it was going to be a rapture. But this gathering is only for the children of Yasharal. Yahuwah bless thee, O habitation of justice and mountain of holiness. That's what we're going to say when we enter into the kingdom. Why are we going to say these things? Because everything will be restored. Everything that Mr. White has twisted will be reversed. The man shall receive his power again. Verse 24. And there shall dwell in Judah itself, and in all the cities thereof, husbandmen, and they that go forth with flocks. Why is he only singling out Judah? Remember, he's bringing the captivity. We're coming from afar, from the four corners of the earth. Judah was sent here to the Americas, ground zero for wickedness, the place where the man was demoted and the woman was elevated. What's going to happen in the kingdom? The woman's dominion over the man will be destroyed. What will be there? Husbandmen. Look on the bottom. Definition. The master of a family. Look what it says next. Not in use in America. Doesn't that tell you something? When you have a husband, he is your master. It tells you. That's the definition. If you call him husband, what are you calling him? Your master. If you tell someone, yes, I'm married, I have a husband. I have a master. Verse 25. For I have satiated the weary soul, and I have replenished every sorrowful soul. Everyone. But the men, especially, shall rejoice. Their punishment, their curse is over. Verse 26. Upon this, listen what Jeremiah says here. Upon this I awaked and beheld, and my sleep was sweet unto me. This was a good dream. Verse 27. Behold, the days come, saith Yahuwah, that I will sow the house of Yasharal and the house of Judah with the seed of men and with the seed of beasts. There's going to be a lot of procreation going on, brothers and sisters. A lot of procreation. Our numbers will be few. We shall have to increase our numbers. Even with the beast, what is that? The sheep, the goats, the bulls, the cows. The whole land is going to be sowed with the seed of man and the seed of beast. Ladies, in order for this to happen, we need you. But everything will be in order this time. The men shall lead, and the women shall follow, and they shall be loyal to their husbands. Verse 28. And it shall come to pass that like as I have watched over them to pluck up and to break down and to throw down and to destroy, we were absolutely destroyed, and to afflict, He's going to reverse all of this now. So will I watch over them to build and to plant, saith Yahuwah. Praise Yahuwah. This prophetic word is sweet unto me. It's going to be sour for her. She's not going to like this. Her power, her dominion will be taken away. She may even be just like Lot's wife. Wanted to go back to Sodom and Gomorrah, where she was placed above the men, where immoral actions persist. They're accepted. We're talking America. Our women love America. They've been given a place of authority here. A woman is above a man. Who gave her this authority? Satan's children. And yet, she embraces it still. She promotes Mr. White's religion, Mr. White's God, and she loves him above Yahuwah. I'm preaching the streets every day. Do you know who the ones who attack the most? The women. Especially when you have the older women who are in the church. Don't you talk about their Jesus. They love Jesus. They love Mr. White's God. They are destructive to the family. Well, Brother David, my family's not destroyed. My children, even though I was a single mother, I raised them. They went to college. They have careers. They just bought new homes. They have nice cars. Listen to her speech. Everything is about worldly things. Nothing about righteousness. See, if you have Jesus, you don't need to be righteous. Righteousness is keeping the law, statutes, judgments, and commandments. Righteousness is loving Yahuwah with all your heart, mind, and soul. Did she teach the children that? She cannot. She is too wrapped up with Mr. White's religion, Mr. White's ways, Mr. White's God. She has been destructive to the children of Yasharal. And if you were asking why this will not be in the kingdom, I'll show you right now. Isaiah chapter 3, verse 12. Read the whole thing so you can see the wickedness in the United States of America. Verse 12. As for my people, who is his people? The children of Yasharal. Children are their oppressors. Who is oppressing us in the lands of our captivity? The children. And women rule over them. Who's ruling over these bad kids? Look what Isaiah is telling you. Women rule over them. Did it say anything about a man? The man is not present. These bad kids that you see running around the street, out of control, full of tats, who raised them? Ladies, I know you're probably getting angry right now, but you raised a bunch of monsters. You cannot do it yourself. Only a man can teach a man. And the woman is designed to teach the woman. But how can you teach the young ladies when you don't know? O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to error. Who's leading? The women. And destroy the way of thy paths. Who was used as a curse to destroy the men and the children? The woman. You don't believe it. Fatherless homes breed violence. This is from fathermagazine.com, October 8th, 2018. Pretty much new, right? Look at these statistics. 63% of youth suicides are from fatherless homes. 90% of all homeless and runaway children are from fatherless homes. 85% of all children that exhibit behavioral disorders come from fatherless homes. 80% of rapists motivated with displaced anger come from fatherless homes. 71% of all high school dropouts come from fatherless homes. 75% of all adolescent patients in chemical abuse centers come from fatherless homes. 70% of juveniles in state-operated institutions come from fatherless homes. We're talking about juveniles. 85% of all youth sitting in prisons grew up in fatherless homes. Are these statistics lies? They are not. Who raised them? Women. Who's ruling over them? Women. Who is oppressing the people? Suicides, behavioral disorders, rape, dropping out of high school, chemical abuse, and juveniles in institutions, young men sitting in prisons. Who raised these bad kids? The woman. Isaiah just told you. This book is precise. It is perfect. It is clear. If we follow this instruction manual, we can come out of this thing. But if any of you ladies are in denial, thinking that your abilities are far above what Yahuwah states, then stay that way. Destroy yourself and your children. Let me tell you a story. My wife. When we first met, we had there was a lady, a senior. She's a white woman. And my wife used to take her to shop and, take her around to do all of her things because she couldn't do too much. For free, my wife would do this. I used to fix the lady's computers and set up her network in her home. And she wanted to get me and Katia together, which she did. Katia and I went out on a date. We talked about what we wanted in life. She had the same goals that I did. We were married within the month. Just met. I think it's better for someone to bring two parties together because they look at each one's behavior and they say, hey, these two are a perfect match. Instead of our young ladies and our young men going out picking the wrong person to give the rest of their life to. When I married my wife, she had 2 kids. The children's father is deceased. These 2 children, my wife gave to me. She said, I cannot raise these 2 children on my own. I give them to you. I had the free reign to raise them as I saw fit, and she knew that I was going to bring them up in the admonition of Yahuwah. She realized she couldn't raise these children on her own. It takes 2. It takes the mother who gives that loving effect, and then it takes the father who's going to be the person who hands down the law. There's nothing better for a mother to say to her children when they're acting up, wait till your father gets home. The fear of death comes over these children. Anyone who has in a household that has the mother and the father, they understand this. The mother always says, wait till your father gets home. And the kids are scared because they know Pops does not play. He doesn't have that doting effect that the mother gives. He just exudes authority. When you have the mother and the father together in the home, you won't see these statistics. But when it's only the woman, and especially the woman who says, I don't need a man, that's where these numbers come from. Isaiah chapter 42, verse 22. Look what it says. Verse 22. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. Nobody's been robbed and spoiled more than us. They are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none deliver it for a spoil, and none saith, restore. Now you understand why all of these young men are in prisons. Who raised them? The mother. Does she have time for them? Of course not. She's in school. She's working. These kids are raising themselves. You need 2 parents in the home to raise 1 child. Just think if you got a whole bunch of them. Look at this. This is another outcome of being with a single mother. See, fathers don't go for this. But a mother, she says, oh, let him be who he is. This is not who he is. This is a product of not having a man in the home. See, when you have a man in the home and these children, these boys are small, they have a male figure to look up to. They want to be just like him. They want to walk like their pops. They want to talk like their pops. They want to go everywhere with their father. They learn from him. But when you don't have the male figure in the home, who do these young men look up to? The mama. They want to be like mom. She has authority. She has power. She brings home the bacon. She fries it up in the pan. And she always lets you forget that you are a man. He wants to be like her. While she's out, he goes and he tries on her shoes and her dress and puts on her makeup. She comes home and she catches him. Boy, what you doing? Oh, Mommy, I was just dressing like you. If the father would have caught him, he would have beat him so silly that he would never have picked up a piece of lipstick again. But the mother in the house, she doesn't know how to control this behavior. She thinks that, oh, a man needs to show his feminine side. Alicia Keys made a video about this. She caught her son using some rainbow nail polish on his nails. Do you know what she said? That, yeah, he needs to be in touch with his feminine side. Putting on nail polish? Ladies, I know that you may be in denial, but these statistics, they do not lie. A single family home with a black woman in charge creates this. Evil. wickedness. Instead of him being the one who wants to, in the sexual relationship, be the one who's giving, he wants to be the one who's receiving. What a mess. This captivity is more wicked than anything that anyone has ever seen. All of the prophets speak about this captivity. You have doomed, by saying that you don't need a man, you have doomed your sons to eternal damnation. They will find their beds in the lake of fire right alongside of you. So Auntie Mama, Big Mama, the Mammy, Mama, you won't see this profile in the kingdom. She will be destroyed. She has been destructive to her people. She does not even know it. It takes, and I'm going to have to take the mantle, even though I refuse to say it for so many years, it takes a prophet of the Most High to bring these things out. Because what you see is blinded by the power that the Europeans, Mr. White, gave you. You don't see how you have destroyed your family. These statistics don't lie. Your sons being homosexuals, it does not lie. The book, the Bible, written thousands and thousands of years ago, it doesn't lie. It shows you who is destroying these children and the family. It's the woman. Remember, there's two scenarios. Some we believe they have escaped. What if they escaped too? The ways of the Europeans. They become productive citizens in this society. It's okay that you go to school and, you can get you a house and cars and all of that. But what happened with Yahuwah and keeping the commandments? What is it for a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? The woman is focused on things. She believed that things is what makes a person powerful. What makes a person powerful is that they love Yahuwah with all their heart, mind, and soul. What makes a person powerful is that they keep his commandments, at least the ones that you can keep in the lands of your captivity. What makes the family powerful is that there must be a head, the father, the covering, the mother, working together as a team to raise the next generation of Yasharalites that will go out and speak the word to the nations. It's not going to happen in this captivity because the woman is ruling. It will not be over until we go into the kingdom, and most women will not want to go into the kingdom. They will be just like Lot's wife and say, let me go back to the house of bondage. At least I had authority there. And then you'll die with your master, Mr. White. Now we're getting ready to proceed. Ladies, I think you should pay attention to this series. I'm going to show how the mothers have destroyed their daughters. This is just terrible. Continue to part 3. Shalom.